Monday, March 10th, 2025, are Mayor C. Holland Purdue III, as well as council members A. Ralph Casey, David K. Clements, J. Tyler Lee, Mark H. Newbill, and Lucas A. Tuning. Also participating this evening are staff members as noted.
Thank you. We'll do the pledge. You will stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Prior to the approval of the agenda, Vice Mayor Mullins may be calling in. He's out of town for work. Because he cannot be present, we need a vote if he does call in for him to participate. So I need a motion.
I'd like to make the motion to allow Ben to participate remotely.
Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. If he calls in, we'll put him on the phone. Next, you all have the agenda in front of you. Be looking for an approval of the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The agenda is approved. Next, you'll have the approval of the consent agenda. You've all had a chance to review that.
Motion to approve the proposed agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as proposed.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That is approved. All right. Next, we have our hearing of citizens. We have 3 people signed up this evening. When you hear your name, if you'll come forward and speak into the microphone. We have Miss Police signed up first.
Thank you. So for the council, my name is Aaliyah Police, and I'm going to be talking about FCCLA and other CTSOs we have at our public schools. So good evening, members of the Rocky Mount Town Council, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. My name is Aaliyah Police, as I said, and I'm both honored and excited to be here as the first ever Virginia FCCLA state officer from our county and town. I currently serve as our Vice President of Competitive Events for Virginia FCCLA, while also serving as an officer for the past 4 years at FCHS, and one of them being our chapter president. As many of you probably do not know, FCCLA stands for Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, and is also a national student organization that empowers young men and women to become leaders and agents of change in their communities. For me, it's been a transformative journey. And standing here today, I'm proud to represent not only our county, but the broader mission of Virginia FCCLA across my whole experiences. My role as a state officer is not just a personal achievement, but a reflection of the incredible support I've received from my teachers, my peers, and community members like yourselves. It's a testament to the power of involvement in CTSOs, which is career and technical student organizations for those of you who don't know, and the impact that they can have on a young person's life. FCCLA, along with multiple of our other CTSOs, provides a platform where students like me can grow, lead, and learn beyond the traditional classroom. Whether it's developing life skills, practicing leadership, or tackling community issues through service projects, CTSOs equip students with the tools they need to excel both personally and professionally. For example, through FCCLA, I've had the privilege of working with my peers across Virginia on projects ranging from community wellness to leadership development. I've gained confidence developing public speaking skills and learned how to collaborate with people from diverse backgrounds. These experiences are shaping me into a responsible, empathetic leader who is ready to give back to this community and continue to do that. But it's not just about personal growth. The benefits of CTSOs extend far beyond the students' involvement. Our community as a whole gains when young people are equipped with these skills and then evolve into our community with the mindset, skills, and enthusiasm to give back. In fact, many of the community service projects we compete in, such as food drive, clothing donations, and mentorship programs, have had lasting positive impacts right here in Rocky Mount. I want to emphasize how crucial it is for students to have the access to these organizations. CTSOs like FCCLA, FBLA, DECA help cultivate the next generation of community leaders, professionals, and engaged citizens like yourself that we couldn't operate with without y'all. They empower young people to take initiative, solve problems, and make a difference in their schools and neighborhoods and communities. As the first FCCLA state officer from our county, I can proudly say that this opportunity has inspired me to push forward with even more determination and passion. But it's also my hope that my story can serve as an example to others in our community that with the right support, dedication, and opportunities, any student can arise in their potential. So as I stand before you today, I ask for your continued support of FCCLA and the other CTSOs in our schools. We need your partnership ensuring that young people have access to these life-changing opportunities, whether it's through funding, resources, or simply encouragement or acknowledgement. Your involvement helps us to shape the leaders for tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time and for the opportunity to speak on behalf of students who are growing and learning and serving in this wonderful community. Together, we can continue to foster this environment where youth thrive, develop leadership skills, and contribute positively to Rocky Mount now and as long as we can make that stand. Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work.
Next, we have Miss Brenda Muse.
Good evening, Town Council members. I stand before you once again to urge action on the cleanup and restoration of the apartments on Purdue Lane. While I appreciate the incremental efforts that have been made, the property still remains in unacceptable conditions, and it negatively impacts my neighborhood, the appearance, the safety, and the overall quality of life. As you review the photos I have provided, you will see clear evidence that this issue persists. The inoperable vehicle with no front right wheel remains on the property and has been unchanged for months. The apartment at the end of the building continues to deteriorate with its foundation visibly shifting and sections of the gutters now hanging loose. These conditions are not just an eyesore, they are a hazard to the community. I was encouraged by communication from Mr. Wood on September 26, 2024, informing me that the town attorney, Mr. Bortnott, was working on the necessary legal steps to bring this matter before the court. Additionally, on November 21, 2024, I was updated that the town attorney had officially filed documents requesting the court to order the property owner to repair or remove the structure. At that time, I was informed that the property owner had 3 weeks, and according to my calculations, they would have ended December 13, 2024. Today, it is March 10, 2025. Nearly 3 months have passed since that deadline, yet the property remains in an unacceptable manner. The issue has now stretched on for 3 years. While I do acknowledge that some progress has been made, it is simply not enough. How much more time will this property owner be given while my neighborhood continues to suffer the deplorable conditions? I respectfully ask for your continued support in expediting the resolution of this matter. The residents of my neighborhood deserve a safe, clean, and well-maintained environment. I urge you to take action to ensure that this issue is resolved once and for all. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Muse. Next,
What's the status of it right now?
It's in the court right now, and so specifically where it's at is that Mr. Boitnott and the attorney for the property owner are negotiating back and forth, and they've had to involve me in that and also involve the county building inspector in that as to getting a plan together of, because they obviously they don't want to do work and then have us say, well, that's not what you needed to do. So we're in the middle of negotiating that right now to come to an agreement so that they can then do the work. So it has taken longer than we had hoped, but it is still active as far as going back and forth and trying to get that straightened out.
next we have Ms. Glenna Moore.
First of all, I have to say how proud I am of FCCLA. That's a young lady who's making history during this, especially during this Women's History Month. I retired as a FACS teacher and an FCCLA advisor. Good evening, council members. Glenna Hawkins Moore. Happy Women's History Month. The NAACP Raising the Shade project is incredibly fortunate to have a soldier research team composed of dedicated community volunteers as well as esteemed Virginia Tech professors and students. Tonight, in my brief 3 minutes, I want to bring attention to overlooked stories of the remarkable women in the lives of 3 Franklin County-born Union soldiers who enlisted in the United States Colored Troops. First, let's meet Harriet and Private John Adams. Harriet, 22, and John, 28, escaped enslavement together when the Union Army marched into Montgomery, Alabama in April of 1865. John enlisted with the 50th USCT Infantry, while Harriet joined a growing band of refugee women and children seeking protection. Like many other refugee wives, Harriet took on roles as a cook, laundress, and nurse for the Union Army. After the war, she and Private Adams had 2 children of their own and raised 4 other orphaned children. Next, Martha Calloway and Private James Arnold. Martha and James, possibly childhood acquaintances when in Franklin County. Both were sold to slave owners in Paris, Missouri as teenagers. Before the war, they were married and had children. James escaped to the Union Army in Missouri in October of 1864 and enlisted with the 18th USCT Infantry. This regiment moved frequently in 1865, spending most of its time in Tennessee. In 1866, Private Arnold mustered out, and the family was reunited in Paris, Missouri. With the assistance of the Freedmen's Bureau, the couple legally formalized their marriage with their 5 children as witnesses. And lastly, at Vicksburg in June of 1865, USCT soldier Private Lloyd Phillips tragically died of bacterial meningitis, for which there was no cure at that time. His widow, former slave Ann Phillips, was left on her own in a refugee camp with 3 small children, ages 6, 4, and 2. Years later, 2 of these children, brother and sister William and Mary Phillips, would become successful adults, owning a farm, becoming a school teacher, raising nieces and nephews, and even putting their younger half-brother Joseph through medical school. Council members, as we reflect on these stories, let us not turn away from the uncomfortable truths that sometimes reveal about our past. We have a responsibility to honor these legacies by supporting initiatives like Raising the Shade, Franklin County, Virginia, 1850 to 1910. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Next, we'll move to new business. We have Chief Young here to recognize some officers.
Thank you, Town Council. Appreciate the opportunity this afternoon to be here to recognize 2 of our outstanding officers. If they will both come up here, Officer Ryan King and Officer Barika Burwell. I'm going to make you just stand up here for just a minute while I read a little bit. So what I'd like to do today is recognize 2 outstanding officers for their dedication, service, and leadership. Today we proudly promote Officer Barika Burwell and Officer Ryan King to the rank of Sergeant. Sergeant Barika Burwell brings over 10 years of experience as a patrol officer and has previously served as a patrol sergeant with the Rocky Mountain Police Department. Her leadership, experience, and commitment to the safety of our community make her an excellent choice to return to this role. As a patrol sergeant, she will continue to mentor and lead our officers in the field, ensuring that we uphold the highest standards of service and professionalism. Sergeant Ryan King has dedicated over 18 years to law enforcement, serving in patrol, investigation, and as a community resource officer. His ability to build relationships and engage with the community has made a lasting impact on the department and the people we serve. As he steps into his new role as Community Resource Sergeant, I have no doubt he will continue to strengthen the trust between law enforcement and our community. Both Sergeant Burwell and Sergeant King have not only served the Rocky Mount Police Department, they have also brought their skills and experience from other law enforcement agencies, enriching our team with their knowledge and leadership. Their promotions today are a testament to their dedication, hard work, and the respect they have earned from their peers in this department. Leadership is not about a title. It's about setting the standard, guiding others, and making a difference. I have every confidence that these two will continue to lead with integrity, professionalism, and a commitment to the people we serve. Please join me in congratulating Sergeant Brika Burwell and Sergeant Ryan King on this well-earned achievement. Y'all turn around. And I know we have two that are on pen. Who's gonna start? It is tradition in law enforcement to have a loved one, someone special in your life, to pin your badge when you earn new rank. So we have some family that are going to do the honors today.
Shove it deep in there, Tracy.
It'll hang, it's okay. Thank you, Town Council. We look forward to continuing to serve the citizens of Rocky Mountain with excellence. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief, and congratulations. Next, we have Ms. Jessica Dillon with the Department of Social Services. She's going to bring us up to date on Child Abuse Prevention Month and a special event.
Hi everyone, my name is Jessica Dillon. I'm one of the senior CPS workers at the Franklin County Department of Social Services. As you guys are aware, April is Child Abuse Awareness Month. So the Franklin County Department of Social Services will be holding a Family Fun Day on April 19th from 11 to 4 at the Franklin County High School. So far, we have about 40 vendors from businesses in the community and our community partners participating. At this event, families can shop and eat from the many vendors that we'll have present and learn more about the services that are available in our community for the families. They can also meet with members of the Franklin County Sheriff's Office and the Rocky Mount Police Department. There will also be lots of free carnival-style games for the children to play in a bounce house. We have received many donations from community members and businesses to help us make this family day possible, and for us to have a raffle at the event. The proceeds from the raffle and from other donations will all go to the Child Advocacy Center here in Rocky Mount. We work with them very closely every day. Our hope for this Family Fun Day is to bring awareness to the cause and educate those in the community about how to report child abuse. We also hope to make this a fun event where children can become more comfortable with the agencies that work to keep them safe every day. I also have brought you guys a gift. It is a pinwheel pin that I hope you guys would be willing to wear throughout the month of April to bring awareness to the cause. I also have included some flyers for the event if you guys would like to hand them out, as well as little cards that have the phone numbers for how to report child abuse. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that at the farmer's market?
All right, next we have Mr. Bernard going to present the Farmers Market Annual Report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. This evening, I am proud to give a positive update on the farmers market after the 2024 season. You might recall that last spring, the farmers market was awarded a gold certification by the Virginia Farmers Market Association. That's a certification that recognizes farmers markets that meet and exceed industry best practices in 11 categories, including food safety, professional development, food origin, food access, non-discrimination, consumer education, market visibility, marketing and outreach, public safety, and data. With all those 11 categories, there were 19 gold certified markets across Virginia, including Rocky Mount, which we're very proud of. We haven't heard back for this year, but we are on track to recertify gold in 2025. And then we also had a great year for visitation at the market. Thanks to the town's Placer subscription, it allows us to see visitation to different points of interest across town. And it even allows us to filter for day of week and time of the day. So during farmers market hours across 2024, we had 14,940 people visit our farmers market, which was the second highest on record, second only to last year, which had one additional Saturday. So if you look at it year over year, it ended up being very similar to the highest year. I also want to put it in historical context because we had when I started, I know there were a lot of vendors because I started in June of 21. So there were a lot of vendors concerned about losing momentum from COVID and the impacts that had had. But the data with Placer goes back to 2018. And so 2019 actually had 6,851 visitors. So we've, since that year, from 2019 to 2024, we've increased by 116%, which we are very proud of. It shows the strength of our market. Additionally, the market participates in both SNAP and Fresh Match. SNAP, or Supplementary Nutritional Assistance Program, allows folks to use EBT benefits at the farmer's market on the same products that would qualify at the grocery store. And Fresh Match is a program that doubles EBT benefits that can be used on fresh fruits and vegetables. So these are folks that are receiving assistance that are, because of the program we offer, are able to use those benefits at the farmer's market. And 2024 actually had the highest utilization at the farmer's market for these benefits on record, with a total of $9,375 of those benefits being spent at the market. So those are, that's funding that likely would not have been able to be spent at the market. And that was actually the highest year that we have on record for utilization of these funds, and that includes all the additional funds that were available during COVID. So during those COVID years, there was a lot of additional funding available to people, but because of the relationships that we're building, we're actually increasing the number of people that are utilizing these benefits at the market. I do want to recognize the folks that are responsible for this. Our market manager, Amanda Hollum, is not able to be here this evening, but she puts in a lot of work for the market. The market runs from April through December, but she's working year-round to make the market stronger. She's the point of contact for vendors. She's on site every Saturday. She's typically early by a couple hours to make sure that everything is running smoothly. She's working with these vendors, making sure that they're in the correct spot, making sure that they're complying with all those rules that helped us get the gold certification. She's taking pictures, posting on social media, and including, she additionally takes continuing education courses during the off-season. She's always ready to help market the market and vendors. And then, of course, want to recognize the vendors that are the backbone of the market. These are the folks that are actually that are the attraction bringing people to the market. They spend time all year growing, preparing, and baking and crafting their products, and they bring the same effort to the market every week. I don't think anyone here who's been to the market is surprised to hear this report. It's one of the most popular things that we do. People love the farmers market. Anecdotally, we hear a lot of people at the farmers market coming from Roanoke, and we actually see that on the Placer data that each year there are more and more people driving 30, 45 minutes from outside our area to come to the Rocky Mount Farmers Market because of the products that it offers and how consistent it is. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you.
Daniel, before talking about everything that we've done, the new building that with the swap, will any of that take effect? Do you have any update with that?
Yeah, so the use of that building remains to be seen,
Right.
but it does provide a really good opportunity with the proximity to the farmers market.
Thank you.
Mr. Mullins is going to try to jump on the phone now, we've been told.
Hey, Ben, can you hear us? I can hear you, Robert. All right, hold on one second. I'm gonna get the microphone so everybody can hear you. Oh, all right. I think you're on, Ben.
All right. Next, we have the discussion of the draft capital improvement plan, the CIP for fiscal years 2026 and 2030. Mr. Wood will present.
Council, you had a draft CIP at your seats when you sat down tonight. Traditionally, we pass this one out at the March meeting, and then we'll come back in April when we start having the budget work sessions, and we'll talk about it in detail, but we wanted to get that to y'all so you could start looking at it. It will likely look different the next time you see it because we're still making changes to the CIP and to the operating budget that you will see at the same time when we start that work in April. So stay tuned for more, but we wanted to get that out to you so y'all can start studying that and seeing if you have any questions or anything that we need to address later on.
Any questions for Mr. Wood? Hearing none, we'll move along. The discussion regarding special events in town.
Thank you, Mayor. Over the past year or so, the town has been contacted by private event coordinators seeking a town permit to hold events that are open to the public and for charge admission. There's currently no ordinance or permit for these type of events that a coordinator must complete that would give the town information that would be useful to like the police department or other staff. Should like something arise like safety or complaints of noise or things like that. So staff is looking for direction from council as to whether we would want to pursue an ordinance or a permit for these type of events.
So right now in the code, council, there is some language in there. Jessica said there's not anything specific for the kind of events that we've been contacted about, but you will be happy to know that we have some language dealing with carnivals, fairs, and circuses, since those come to town so often. So there is some language in there about probably the kind of events that they used to have. Yeah, probably back in the day. And then there's also some language in the code that's also a little dated, but it deals with people that are picketing or protesting. So there's some things that kind of start to get at what Jessica's talking about some of these gatherings, but nothing real specific. And so our thought was we would bring it to council and see if that's something that you want staff to work on. A lot of localities have that sort of language in their code so that you have some requirements in place for security and safety when there's going to be these big events. And so we just wanted to bring it up and see if it's something that council wanted staff to work on.
Oh, I think it cut off. I think we lost Ben.
If council wanted to have something right, then it would be, you could make a motion to do that, or if you decide not to do it, then you could just not make a motion.
Yeah, I mean, I make a motion to at least research the idea to make sure that everybody's safe and that we have all the proper documentation that's needed. So I'll make that motion to at least get us some more research about what other localities do.
Second. Okay, we got a motion and a second, so any discussion? So we have a motion and a second to allow the government
Can you hear Holland?
to know when people are gonna have events at their house.
I think this is public space.
There's been a motion and a second
Public
to
space is gonna be-
research
So
it.
if I wanna have an event
There's
at my
discussion
house,
going on now.
and if I'm gonna have more than 50 people, do I have to then tell the town about that?
Special event would be defined, and we would use language either by the state or by what other localities use. I think the ones that I researched is defined by how many people are there and by charging admission, if I remember correctly.
Well, if you said it's more than 50 people as well as protest, I mean, I don't think people charge to get a protest going. So if 50 people want to get together and walk through town, they've got to tell people that they're going to do that?
Well, I don't know. We're asking if you want us to look into that. I don't know the specifics of it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, my motion was just to strictly research it. I'm not saying that we go into anything. I mean, I do agree with you, Holland, that, that this is potentially opening up a can of legal battles because the word protest. But I'm just making the motion to at least research it, bring back some information about what's going on in other jurisdictions.
I think the direction they wanted is to potentially draft something, is that right?
Yeah, or we can stop short of that if council decides they want to think about it or look at it some more. We can stop short of that, and we could bring in some examples of kind of the way it's handled elsewhere. I probably should have said this. That one of the events, just to give y'all an example of what we're talking about, we're not talking about you have a birthday party at your house or something like that. You got to get a permit, but we had an event, and for those who know what it is, there was a 420 party or event to be held, and it was advertised on social media and everywhere else. It was going to be out on Musefield Road at the old ball fields, and so the police department reached out to us when they heard about it because their concern was you have all these people showing up. We don't know what kind of security they're going to have. We don't know what kind of safety plan they're going to have in place, where the car's going to park, how they're going to get in and out of there, how loud it's going to be. So it's that kind of event that led to the discussion and led to us bringing this to council, not because somebody's having a birthday party for their kid at their house or something like that.
But that's on private property.
I agree.
The police need to know, I mean, whatever. Yeah, I mean, we got a motion in a second. I'm just saying, I think that delves into, well,
I think the
stand very
biggest
different on
piece,
private property
and I
rights.
don't disagree with you, but I think to Jessica's point and to the town's point, what you're looking at is mainly sidewalk areas, public spaces, right?
No, it wouldn't be limited to public space.
That's not what was just said. That now
I
what's
feel
been
like
said
it's
is
an
that if you
infringement
have an
upon
event,
property owners' rights.
And just to be clear, I'm not making a recommendation. I'm just, other staff has made a recommendation that we pursue an event like this, and so that we're bringing it to you for a decision.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my motion was to at least research this idea. I'm not saying that we're making any type of stamped decisions tonight of, hey, you have to call the RMPD to have an event anywhere. This is strictly just research proposals because this is the first time we've heard about this. I learned about it obviously Thursday whenever we got this, so that's all I'm doing. Is he still on?
Ben, did you have comments?
I think I agree with Holland that it feels like, where do you draw the line? When people have personal property, they should be allowed to do whatever it is on their personal property, and regardless of how they plan to have security or not security, that's their business until we must intervene, and we could cross that bridge if that ever happened.
is there any other discussion?
I guess the misconception was, from my point was, I was thinking about a event that would be, i.e. at the farmer's market or some town property, and you're charging a fee to attend it or something
Exactly.
like that.
Currently, they have to go ahead and they have to contact the town if they want to use these town structures.
Right.
So,
But that's not what this is implying. This is, if you want to use the farmer's market event, you got to talk to you guys now anyway and get approved.
That's right.
This is not for that.
Okay,
That's
so if
right.
I'm having a backyard barbecue with 50 folks there, no, I
That would
get
not
it.
qualify for, no, that would not be, you wouldn't have to get a permit for that.
But if you had a backyard barbecue at Musefield ball field, I got to get a permit for it.
And if you charge admission,
No, it's, I mean,
This,
right, I think that's the difference. If somebody rented the farmer's market and was gonna have 50 people come over there, or have a church event or something there, that's one thing. This is like if somebody's gonna go out to Musefield Road, where we talked about, like on the ball fields, and just open it up to the public. Anybody who wants to can show up, and it's $15 to get in. That's the
What
difference
about
between-
an event where somebody is selling a pop-up event like Gracefully Natural does multiple times a year? They have a band, they're selling things.
is that what you, I guess, yeah.
those are,
That's not in town. That's in the
Right, but I
county.
think he's just using that as an example.
That type of
Yeah.
event. I mean,
it just, it
you
would
think that
depend on the
yeah.
nature of the.
Depends on the definition that you put in there,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
that's one thing we can do. We can bring some definitions of what would qualify, and then council can decide if they wanted to, look at one or not.
That was my original motion, I believe, was to research it and to bring it back to us.
how often does this come around?
We had 2 requests that I know of, in the last year. Both were of similar nature.
Birthday party type?
No, 420, and the
Oh,
second one
420.
didn't go through with it,
Yeah.
because of logistics, but.
But I mean, either way, Jessica, I mean, to Holland's point and to Ben's point and to probably some other points in the room, if I want to host a protest, all I got to do is pretty much host it. The PD can come and shut it down if we get ridiculous, right? I mean, this is pretty much just being a courtesy feature. Now, that's one side of it. The side of it that I think that we're kind of trying to figure out is the admission piece, right? Is that what y'all are?
I don't agree with that. I mean, I think you can deny, if somebody wants to have a protest over 50, I think you got the ability to say no if you enact something that does with this, which is incredibly, to me, ridiculous. I mean, a protest is, I mean, that's, well, we got a constitution for a reason. That's how I look at it.
Right. No, I agree to that statement, yeah. So I go back to my original statement.
We got a motion to explore, and we have a second. So we would need 4 votes to explore based on your motion. You want a roll call vote this, Rebecca?
I think it's best.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Benjamin K. Mullins.
No.
Councilmember A. Ralph Casey. Councilmember David K. Clements.
No.
Councilmember Lucas A. Tuning.
No.
Councilmember Mark H. Newbill.
No.
Councilmember J. Tyler Lee.
I made the motion to research it, so I will vote yes.
Mayor C. Holland Purdue III.
No. The motion does not pass. If there being no other motions, then there will be no action.
Just as a parliamentary point, you can make people make motions sometimes that they know they're going to vote against. So I mean, it's not that you can vote against it if you want to vote against your own motion. So. I mean, sometimes you just do that to have the discussion. So that's, yeah. Yeah, it just starts the discussion.
I mean, it was great. It was great discussion. That's probably the most discussion we've had all year.
We have a closed session this evening. In order to enter into a closed session, the motion will need to be made to move into closed session under the Virginia Code section cited as section 2.2-3711A1, 5, and 3. Do I have a motion to go into closed meeting under the cited code sections?
So moved.
Motion? Second. And a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. Thank you for attending the meeting. After a closed session, council will return to the council chambers.
I thought, because I was going to ask, I said, if I remember correctly, even though I made a